Hello there, everybody. Seán Sheehan here for Sherdog.com, and I'm joined today by the Bellator Women's Featherweight title challenger, Sinead Kavanagh, as she prepares. It's been a long time coming, Sinead. It's Cris Cyborg. Yeah. Go on, give us your initial reaction. What are you thinking?
I'm buzzing, Seán. Like, it's long time over fucking due. This for me, like, a long time.
I know this fight has kind of been in the works for a good while. You know, we've speaking about it, waiting to kind of break the news and everything like that for, it feels like months now. When was the first time you kind of heard that it was reality? I know you've kind of been calling out Cyborg for almost, it feels like years at this stage. When did you hear the fight itself was going to be reality?
Yeah, well, they were hemming and hawing about it, like, So I was like, when are we fighting? And they were like, oh, we have different things for you. So a few months now, like, so I just got ready anyway for this. I knew something big was going to happen. If it was her or Cats and Ghana, I was thinking it was going to be one of them,
Yeah. And I saw Kat coming out on Twitter there the other day, and she was kind of saying, I wanted to fight. The fight was supposed to be me, and she wished you well and everything. But were you thinking maybe it would be Kat to get Cyborg, and then maybe you'd miss out on one, the kind of the two big fights in the division? Were you thinking that could happen?
Isn't that my luck?
It is, I suppose.
That is exactly what I thought was going to happen. Like, I was just like, when Cyborg called out Kat, I was like, fuck this. Like, this is unbelievable now. I know I'm next in line, like,
Yeah.
But the gods were good this time, and it's shone on me.
Very good. Come here. I wanna get back to the fight in a second, but I also want to ask you about kind of coming up and how you got here. I was watching. There's a video. I think Bellator put it up a few years ago about you and your, the way you came up in your childhood and your family and everything like that. And there'll be obviously, go get into a title shot. Everyone will be talking about you this time. Could you give us just like a quick look into what it was like for you kind of growing up in Dublin and how you kind of, I know you had a tough time coming up, and how you got out of that and how you got into boxing first and in MMA. Could you tell us quickly about that?
Yeah, Jesus, I started with with karate, like, like, we're a normal family, like, well, didn't have much, like, and stuff like that. There was 5 of us, and like, yeah, like, we didn't have much, It was the same at that time in Dublin. No one had money, no one had that. And I'm sure you know, Seán. And yeah, so that was it. And then I joined karate. I just wanted to do like that, like combat sport. Like, I just had something in me, like, and then I went on to kickboxing and done boxing. Like, I had Leon when I was 17, and like, his dad passed away, and yeah, times were tough. As I said, I don't know how I kept this dream alive, and then my mom was in a car crash, like, and our brother and sister died, like.
Jesus.
So obviously she went a bit AWOL. I love my man now, like, don't get me wrong, I love her like to bits, and yeah, so that's what happened. And then I came, I couldn't live there anymore, like, so yeah, went homeless, and that was the story there.
I don't know where to start, to be honest. Like, if something like that happened to me, I would just give up. Like, I don't, and I think most people listening to this probably would as well. How first of all, how did you keep going in life itself, and how did you keep going as a fighter? Like, it must have been so tough.
It was tough. It was. I was dealing with my own demons and life itself, like, and then trying to keep a dream alive was the hardest. Like, fucking, because then, I still wanted to be world champion, and yeah, everything was against me. Nothing in life was handed to me, and I've worked my ass off for this moment to keep this fucking dream, Seán. Like, that's the main thing. Never give up, like, and I'm just a fact of proving that never to give up, like,
100%. I was looking today, and I knew you had a very good boxing background, but 5 amateur national titles. I didn't realize it was that good of a background. Like, were you winning those national titles in the middle of all of this? In the middle of all the...
Yeah, like, yeah, I was, which is fucking madness, like, you know. Yeah, it was mad. Yeah, and yeah, it was a very hard time, and I was carrying around this. I think, like, I always carrying that weight on my shoulders for many a years, like. And obviously, like I don't know how I got in there, and like my performance showed sometimes where my head was fucking away with the fairies, like, do you know what I mean? It was on something else or something that happened, and just trying to get my life together, you know. And I just, yeah. So during that, yeah, I won the titles when I was going through hell in life, yeah.
How did you get from a place where you were homeless? Were you still boxing and still doing that when you were homeless? And how did you get from, say, being someone who was homeless to kind of getting back on your feet?
Well, yeah. So I was interested in like hostels and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And with Leon, so Leon was with me. I was in hostels, and yeah, that was very tough. Like, because you're around, like they put me in. Like, I'm only a fucking kid, like, you know, and they put me in with a drug dealer, kind of addicts and stuff like that, you know, like. And yeah, like I could have gone either way. Here was in my face constantly, like, you know. And I could have, like, there was many times where I was thinking, oh, fuck this, like, just do it, like, you know what I mean? But I don't know, I kept strong, and it was only for the combat sport that I had, that I kept, that kept me going, like, you know what I mean? It kept me wanting, pushing myself, because I got such a buzz of training, you know. It brought me to a place where I could forget everything, and yeah, and just try to get this moment, you know.
It felt like I was watching that video, and it felt like you've had some great people coaching wise, from John Kavanagh and your boxing trainers before that as well, to kind of to help you. To, you know, you said John, and you always said the same sentence. John Kavanagh took me under his wing, and it really feels like that. And you, like, over your life, say, coming from there to where you are now, is it people like that that have really helped you out? And obviously, you know, 99% yourself, but people have really helped you to get to where you gotten today.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's always like, it's always when I met someone at a stage where I'm just about to like pack it in, like, you know, like, just I've had enough. Like, I was just like, oh, do you know what? This is not going anywhere. Like, fuck this, like, you know. And then I would meet someone, and then it would get me going again. Do you know what I mean? It would bring me back to oh no, this is gonna happen. This is what's gonna play out for your life, you know. And he did. John, I wouldn't have got this moment only from John, like, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking thanks to John, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he's been so nice to me. He's so nice, looked after me from day one. You know, once he knew that I was there to be, like, to take this far, like, he's looked after me very well.
It's crazy just to, and I know how to do the whole thing of this, but it's such a fascinating story, and it's, you know, people probably listen to this and think, you know, wow, it's, you know, like Tyson Fury and all people like that who have come from the very bottom and get to the very top. It's just a fascinating story, and for me personally, every time I see you, there's always a smile in your face, and it's always great, and I'm delighted for you to get this spot, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you a little bit more about the boxing, especially because, you know, I put out that picture the other day of yourself and Kelly Harrington, you know, the Olympic gold medalist, and when you were
Yeah.
two young kids coming up, and now look where you are. And I know you've done a bit with Katie Taylor as well in the high performance. Like, you know, a lot of people when they go in there, and we'll talk more about Cyborg in a second, but they've never really faced the top upper echelon of, you know, female combat athletes in the world. You have, you know, you've been in there with the best in the world. And do you think that gives you a little bit of an advantage for us in that fight? But before we get to that, maybe training with the likes of Kelly Harrington, the likes of Katie Taylor, how has that, like, helped you throughout the years?
Yeah, like I'm that level, like, do you know what I mean? I've trained with them, and like sparred with them, and fought the best in the world. Like, yeah, and it just shows where Kelly's at and taking this. I can take it, you know. It just proves a point from in my head, like, that I can do this, you know. You know.
Yeah, and like Kelly came into that, and she was up there as one of the favourites to win, but I don't think she was favoured to win that gold medal. When you saw her winning that gold medal, was that kind of like, I can,
Seán.
yeah.
I was dancing, I was singing, I was crying. I was in like I didn't know where I was. I was like so emotional for her, like delighted she done it, like delighted that like me and her was through a lot of shit in boxing, like Sean. Like they didn't treat us good at the start, like when I was there, like that's why I fecked off, like you know what I mean. But like me and Kelly was being through a lot of shit with boxing, like you know, and no, they weren't good, and so for me it was a big thing for me for to get that goal, like you know.
And then, say for yourself, not too long after that, I know you got the shot yourself, and to get the your own shot
Yeah.
at gold. And I know it was probably a different sort of gold maybe you were dreaming of coming up, but to get the shot at Cris Cyborg, when you what was the reaction? Was it a similar sort of reaction, or was it one of right, let's prepare now, or was it happiness? Which one was it? Or a bit of both, maybe.
Yeah, of course. Like me and John found out. John was like, "This is huge," and like it didn't register in my mind that it was that this gonna be this big, like you know. But I was like, "Oh, John, I just want to fight now," like you know what I mean. Like, and he's like, "Sinead, like this is huge. You need to wait for this. Like this is a chance in a lifetime." And then when he set me down and said that, I was like, "Okay." Like I seen the bigger picture in it, like it's the best, one of the best in the world. It's for a fucking title. It's a title that I could win, and yeah, I'm buzzing, like you know.
And the news kind of broke at the same time. I know Ariel broke it with Scott Coker. And the news of you fighting for a title and Peter Queally fighting for a title kind of came out on the same day. It was just a mad day for Irish MMA. I wrote the article about your fight, and I think like this is, if you win this, it's the biggest win in Irish MMA history with Conor McGregor's wins. Like there's no, it's McGregor, you, and in no close second really. How does that feel? I know Conor put out something, I don't know, probably 3 years ago, maybe saying that you're the next one coming through. You're the kind of the female Conor McGregor coming through. How proud would
Yeah.
it be for you to be? I know you take a lot from Conor as well. How proud would it be for you to
Yeah.
be right up there with him?
Delhi, and you know what, Sean? Like that's such a like an honor for him to even say that. You know what I mean? And then things didn't go my way. Of being like, it's been like a
Roller
unsteady
coaster.
road, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like yeah, it's just been like I'm not the luckiest. Like I'm not like and yeah, him saying that then and then yeah, amazing. And then he fought Aldo, a Brazilian. I'm fighting a Brazilian. And then November, he became champ. So there you go.
The 145
So
pound title as
we
well.
connect, the two of us connect. Yeah. So and I gonna get this title as well. So here we go.
I know there was kind of rumors that it might be in Ireland, and I don't know if that was true or not. Was it true? First of all, would you like for it? I know you probably would like for it to be in Ireland, but is there anything about like traveling and kind of getting away and maybe a little bit less pressure that kind of benefits you, or would you have rather it in Ireland?
I think it is less pressure.
Yeah.
I really do, because it's the home crowd, your own family there, your own people there, like,
Looking
and
for
you
tickets and
like,
everything. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, like, so yeah, I'm glad it's away. I'm glad, like, I go to Miami, a place I've always wanted to visit, and yeah, go there and kick ass, like,
When
yeah,
you obviously if someone at your weight class, looking up towards the top, it's been Cris Cyborg for years. I know Amanda Nunes has come on the last few years at the 135 and 145. I always look at it when people get to a title shot and when it's a long reigning kind of champion like Conor getting to Aldo or Chris Weidman getting to Anderson Silva or something like that. Has basically your whole career since you became an elite level mixed martial artist been preparing to get to Cyborg? Is she the name that's been in your head all the time?
yeah, which is crazy, and But like when I started MMA, like I seen Conor and I seen Cris Cyborg, and then I always said I want to fight her. I'd love to fight her like one day, like that was the goal. Like what I mean, I'm doing it now, and yeah, many people were saying like to me like, oh, you're gonna fight Cris Cyborg. So yeah, she's been the target, and yeah, it's crazy. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's
Uh,
mad. It's just to get back to the question I asked you earlier, then as well that we kind of skipped past. The fight. A lot of people, as I mentioned, when they get in there against Cris Cyborg, they're already beaten. But as I said, you have that experience against world level. Okay, it's a different sport, but you have that experience. What do you think is the difference between you and everyone else? You know, that you can do it where everyone else couldn't, apart from Amanda Nunes, obviously.
Yeah, I fought the best in the world. I fought Olympic medalists. I fought number ones, top girls in the world, Sean. I got in there. I boxed the best in the world, like the best. I have the best pedigree of fights behind me, like in boxing. Like, um, how do I think I can, like, yeah, and a lot of the girls are bet before they get in there, and you can see it in their face, they like kind of, oh fuck that, I'm gonna go down, like, you know. Um, what's gonna keep me is, yeah, I've done them fights, and I don't suit her. I just seen that Amanda Nunes knocked that fucking out, like, you know, and I really think I can do that, like, you know, I have the punching power and I have the skill, like, you know. I don't think she doesn't like my style. I'm a nightmare for her, and that's why I think I can do it.
Mm-hmm. I was watching one of your fights there last night, and I was looking at an interview and the press conference that I asked you a question after one. I think it was your last fight, or maybe 2 fights ago, and you kind of said, I have the beatings of her. You know, I believe I can beat her. And is this something like, I know I asked you, have you been preparing for it? But like technically, is it something that you look at and see all of her fights and see maybe these flaws that you can take advantage of with your background?
Yeah, I see plenty of flaws in the whole game. Like, I've been practicing what to do. I've been practicing everything. Like, and yeah, I think my style is just doesn't. I'm a hit and move and stuff like that, you know, which she doesn't like at all. Like, I think she's pretty basic, to be honest. Like,
over the last few years, I've noticed, and I really appreciate the time. I have one or two more questions. She has been fighting a more kind of technical style, I think, and less like aggressive. Maybe with the Nunes fight aside, do you think that plays into your game a little bit as someone who, you know, can box off the back foot and can box going forward in all different ways? Like, do you think she will have that style against you, or do you think she'll be shooting for takedowns quickly?
I think she's going to turn to a wrestler quickly. I really do. Like, that's why I've been taking up on Sergey's, down Sergey's to be prepared for this, because that's exactly what, like, if you look at me fight, so Sean, like, when the minute I hit them, that's, you can see the shock in their face, that like that, and then straight in, they'll just try to take me down. I don't think she's going to be any different, like, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, Sinead, I really appreciate the time. I absolutely can't wait for this. Great, I'm a little bit biased here, but it's great to see yourself fighting for the title, and Peter Queally as well, obviously fighting for the title coming up.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the time, Sinead. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sean.
Lovely.